Hey guys, it's your friendly neighborhood LunosTheUmbreon. So, things have kind of been going a little weird. Ever since the TikTok ban started and people have been saying that CapCut was getting banned too, I started saying that I would not be making any more videos unless I figured out a way to make videos on other platforms. But I'm not going to be talking about that, as that's going to be its own separate video. And trust me, I have a lot to say regarding on that topic. But this is a Q&A video. I wanted to do something a little bit special since Vox vs. King Dice isn't going to be coming out this month. It'll probably be coming out in February. And also, that's another thing that I wanted to point out. Some Helliverses episodes might be coming out every 1 or 2 months. It's just kind of depending on how busy I'm doing in my personal life aside from YouTube. But that's also besides the point here. I might be talking about that in the other video. But in this video, this will be a Q&A episode. So I'm going to be answering some of y'all's questions as I made a post about it saying that I'll be doing a Q&A and that you can ask me whatever questions you guys want, just as long as it's PG. Okay, I'm not answering inappropriate questions. Let's just try to keep things kid friendly here, alright? Anyways, let's get to the first question. From SlyLord370, are you going to do more collabs in the future and an editor elimination wheel? To answer the first question, yes, I'm going to do more collabs in the future with the Fantastic 7 and also maybe other editors. And also to answer the second question, I don't know if I'll do an editor elimination wheel. I might have to get into or know more editors to do that, but maybe, we'll see. From Christopher Wiley 3531, how do you feel about WWE matchups? If we're talking about the Helliverses matchups, I honestly think they're funny. I'm not sure about the Undertaker one. If I'm being honest, I don't really know much about wrestling or WWE in general, so I'd have to know more about some of the wrestlers. But I think the Adam and Lute versus John Cena matchup is really funny, and might be taken into consideration into being a full Helliverses episode. I don't know about it being in season 2, or this season, or in a later season, but maybe. From Strong Cat Bro, does the Chinese president look like Winnie the Pooh? Hold on, let me look at the picture of the president of China.
A few minutes later.
Yeah, I see it now.
From Braytastic111, how did you learn how to edit? Honestly, I kind of taught myself how to edit with the help of other people, because the edits that I used to make were very, very crappy, to say the least. And then it went from the crappy arc to the death arc, which was probably my most famous arc, to now what I'm going to call the has-been arc, since that's pretty much all I make now. So, to answer the question, I'm self-taught, but also kind of learned from other editors. And also, if you guys want me to teach you how to make your own edits, let me know in the comments. I will happily teach you guys. From the OG BlueChar17, will you be posting some Helliverses episodes on our F7 channel, aka the Fantastic 7 channel? I think I would. Maybe like our special Helliverses episodes where it's the Fantastic 7 or Fantastic 5 versus Hell of the Boss and the Has-Been Hotel. I think those ones may be exclusive to that channel, and also maybe some other episodes depending on what the channel or what the episode is. But the specials like the Fantastic 5 versus Hell of a Boss and Has-Been Hotel, yes, I will be posting those, or I want to post those on the Fantastic 7 channel. From Cuphead Lovitz Reposted 11, what inspires you to make videos /shorts/edits on your channel, and what's your favorite movie and character from that movie? Well, to answer the first question, it's mainly just looking at other people's edits on YouTube and TikTok, or just whenever I listen to edit audios, and it kind of inspires me to make edits on that. And to answer the second question, it's kind of a hard one, since I have a lot of favorite movies, from Kung Fu Panda to Kong Skull Island to Spider-Man No Way Home. But I'd say probably my new favorite one is probably Sonic 3 as my favorite movie. And as for my favorite character from that movie, probably Shadow. I know that's a basic question, but Shadow from Sonic 3 is really cool. And he shows off a lot of his powers. His backstory is sad. And plus, Keanu Reeves just make a great Shadow the Hedgehog. So, to recap, the first question, I get inspired from watching a lot of your edits, and just listening to edit audios. And the second question, my favorite movie is Sonic 3, and my favorite character from that movie is Shadow. From Cypher Rick Sanchez edits 2540, Lunos, I have so many ideas for Fantastic 7 videos. Could we discuss that? Yes, we should. We should discuss ideas for Fantastic 7 videos. I am up for literally whatever ideas you have in store. From RE3 Dinostone 274, what's your real name? That's a bit of a weird question, but if you guys want to know, I'll tell you what my real name is, okay? So, Lunos isn't actually my real name. My real name is... From Shadow, who is your favorite and least favorite members of the Fantastic Seven and why? To be honest, I don't really have favorites or least favorites. You guys are all my favorites in pretty much any way that I can think of. So, right off the top of my head, I don't really have any favorites or least favorites. I like all of you guys equally. Okay, so that's your answer. I don't have a favorite or a least favorite. From Zachary, what made you do YouTube, and do you ever think about video game plays? So, what made me do YouTube? It's pretty much like everybody else. I was just watching YouTubers and thought I wanted to try to do my own, or make my own videos. And in all honesty, I made 2 other channels, which some of you guys, or all of you, definitely don't know about. Neither of them did well, and this was my 3rd channel that I made, and probably the only other channel that I'm going to make, because this is the only successful channel that I've ever made in my entire YouTube career. And do I ever think about video game plays? I think about doing video game plays. I do have a gaming channel, but I have not posted on that channel in a long time, and the videos that I have posted aren't even gaming videos, so maybe I'll think about making video games, or making video game plays, but maybe not right now, since, you know, I have a ton of projects on this channel. But to recap, I was just inspired by watching some of my favorite YouTubers, and the second question, I do think about making video game plays, or making gameplay videos, but haven't really thought about it or had the time to do it in a long time, but maybe things will change in the future. From Christopher Wiley 3531, will you do your favorite to least favorite in your Tournament of Champions? Well, if we're talking about every single one of those episodes, I don't know if I'd have the time to. But if we're talking about my least favorite and my most favorite, then I will happily do that. My least favorite of the bunch is Black Hat versus Alistair. I don't know what it is with people putting Alistair against multiversal beings like Bill Cipher, but he absolutely gets destroyed no matter what. And I made a short on Bill Cipher versus Alistair, and I basically said that he would get destroyed by Bill Cipher in a second. And I even made a video or a Hella versus episode of Bill Cipher versus Lucifer, and I even have a headcanon of saying that Lucifer has a better chance against Bill Cipher, and even then, he still loses to him by a long shot. So, Black Cat versus Alistair is my least favorite, and as for my top favorite, this might be a little bit weird to some of you guys, but I'd actually probably say Loot versus Rusty Rose. Now that might seem like a bit of a random one, but in all honesty, I'm actually kind of growing to this matchup. Even though Rusty still wins against Loot, I still think this would be a pretty fun matchup. So to recap, Black Cat versus Alistair is my absolute least favorite, and Loot versus Rusty Rose is my absolute most favorite, and I love this matchup. But also, comment below in this video what your favorite matchup is from this Tournament of Champions. And also, comment down some Hella vs. ideas for a Tournament of Champions, or just a Hella vs. episode in general. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear some of y'all's matchups ideas. From Also Wilson 754, what would your ultimate Pokemon team be? Now this is actually a really interesting one. So if I had to choose from any and all the starters, I would probably pick Greninja. I think it's basically just because, like, aside from Charizard, he's probably my favorite of all the starters. He has a really cool design, great abilities, and his Ash Greninja form in the anime was awesome. So that would be my water type. And also for this team, I'm not going to be doing type overlaps. So I'm not going to be having a dark type on this team, which is also kind of foreshadowing a Pokemon that's not going to be on my team. But for the rest of the team, I would pick Arcanine because it's a good boy. And he's honestly probably my favorite dog. My favorite of the dog Pokemon. Then I'd pick Haxorus as my dragon type, just because Haxorus is a really cool Pokemon, and also was robbed from being a pseudo-legendary. It probably would have been a better pseudo-legendary than Hydreigon. There, I said it. That's my hot take. Haxorus would have been a better pseudo-legendary than Hydreigon. But anyways, moving on. I'd pick Gengar as a ghost type, because Gengar is really cool and probably my favorite of the ghost types. Then Sylveon, just because Sylveon is completely broken. And then I would always have at least one pseudo-legendary on my team, or any Pokemon team that I have. So I'd probably go with Metagross, because I don't want another dragon type on my team, since, as I said earlier, I don't want to do any type overlaps. And also, Metagross is just probably the coolest and most unique of all the pseudo-legendaries. Like, it's one of maybe two, I think, pseudo-legendaries that's not a dragon type. I think the other one is Tyranitar. But yeah, the majority of the pseudo-legendaries are dragon types, so it's unique that there's only two of them that aren't dragon types. And I think Metagross is probably the better one. So just to recap, Greninja is my starter. Then the rest of the team would be Metagross, Arcanine, Sylveon, Gengar, and Haxorus. I did have two different takeaways here. I wanted to put Vikavolt and Trevenant on the team. I wanted to put Vikavolt on the team, but also I didn't think it would be better than any of the other ones. And I wanted to put Trevenant in the team, but I already had Gengar at the team, and as I said earlier, I don't want type overlaps, and I didn't want two ghost types on my team. So there you go. That's my ultimate team for you. And finally, from Braytastic111, what's your favorite horror movie character? Honestly, I'd probably say Jason, just because I've watched a lot of his movies, and he just seems like a really cool slasher character. So yeah, Jason is my favorite horror character. Well, that's all the questions we have for today, folks. Did I miss any questions, or do you guys have any questions you want to ask me? Let me know down in the comments below, and if we get enough questions, maybe there'll be a part 2 of this episode. And also, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to be notified when a brand new video gets released. And also, stay tuned, because Vox vs. King Dice will be coming out very soon, and we have a very interesting matchup after that one. So stay tuned for that, and be sure to be notified when that episode gets released. And also, subscribe to the Fantastic 7 channel, link in the description below. We're currently working on a scaling project for that channel, so hopefully that goes well. But that's going to be it for today's video, folks. I've been your host, LunosTheUmbreon, and I'll catch you guys next time. Oh, and as always, subscribe, help me get a